So for those that aren't familiar, the upekkha or equanimity meditation, it's really about accepting the truth of the moment. And in fact, the meditative object is phrased either as seeing things as they are or accepting the truth of the moment. So it's some sort of a clear view, accepting what's actually here. So, as humans, we can try and invest or add or subtract a lot to our experience. But this is just perceiving it as it is and accepting it as it is. And so the way it works is we start with a neutral person. This is somebody who you know slightly and you have an opinion, but you haven't been able to confirm that opinion. So it could be someone like a grocery clerk, a bank clerk, a postal carrier, something like this, where you might have some very slight interaction, but you don't know their background. So you don't know how they came to that position. You don't know what life circumstance they've been in. And so the way we do this is we hold either visually or by felt sense the neutral person we're working with, and we can rotate through neutral people. If we find one person gets a little stale or flat, if the energy wanes, we can choose someone else. And all we're doing is trying to accept them as they are. So we're not trying to evaluate their life. If they're a grocery clerk, we're not evaluating, is this a step up or a step down for them? What's their personal life like? Do they want to be the manager of the store? We don't get into any of that. We don't get into speculation. We're simply accepting them as they are. And with the Brahma Viharas, with the heart practices, we can use support phrases to keep awareness focused on the other. And the traditional support phrase for equanimity is that they're heirs to their own karma. So each person is heir to their karma. Where they are in life is the result of their karma, their choices, their actions, their beliefs even help shape all that. The more modern phase or alternate phrase can be, I wish you well, but cannot keep you from suffering. I care about you, but can't control your happiness or unhappiness. And the one that I prefer is just accept the truth of this moment. Now, in everyday life, one of the ways that I work with equanimity is I watch to see if I have resistance to something that's happening. Somebody approaches me, my inner reaction is I don't really want to engage in this person for whatever reason. I'm late, I'm busy, I'm tired, whatever the reasoning is, and I can feel that resistance. So that's a cue to me that equanimity is needed. And I explain it sometimes. Imagine if you had a remote control that controlled time, and if you could fast forward, rewind time. If something is happening in the present moment, that you would turn to this remote and either rewind or fast forward to get out of the moment, that's identifying that there is a resistance to the moment, to what's happening, because you want to change it. That's really the key. So to me, that's when I internally repeat acceptance, just trying to open and accept this moment more fully, trying to see where the resistance is. Where am I being snagged? It could be a cultural norm. It could be something happening I don't want. It could be a variety of things. But the acceptance helps us be more present. I talked about the brain scientists talking about where our attention is. And by doing this acceptance, I find that it really lands awareness in the present moment. If we're simply accepting this moment right here, just as it is. So what's similar to equanimity but not is indifference. The difference between equanimity and indifference, the chief difference, is warmth. Equanimity, accepting the truth, has a kind of warmth to it, has a connection, an inclusion, a wholeness. Indifference is cold. It's a kind of rejection, a closing off, a shutting off to whatever's happening. So if you notice that, just check for the warmth. which will help you identify what's happening. I have had students who have been able to identify that they had a pattern of indifference that was a learned behavior to avoid getting hurt or feeling too uncomfortable. So just notice, this might be a pattern you have, perhaps not, but just notice the warmth level. So the resistances to equanimity, resentment. So if we are resenting some aspect of this moment, if we're resenting what the other has or their position in life, for example, that's going to get in the way of equanimity, of acceptance. Greed, if we're really wanting a lot more of something, then that too is taking us out of this moment and acceptance and moving into, I want that, I'm going to do what I can to get it. And then finally, anxiety about the uncontrollability of life. The fact that life is unfolding in its own pattern. We want it to unfold in ways that are beneficial to us and those we care about and love. And it doesn't always work that way. So it can give us, people can develop a kind of anxiety about just that I can't control this. I can't make sure only good things happen. And so that can be a fret, but that's going to keep you from accepting the truth of this moment. So any questions before we start the meditation? Okay, so go ahead and start with centering belly breaths. Feeling yourself in your seat and your contact with the floor. Really let yourself feel deeply settled in your seat. Deeply at ease. Comfortable. Land in the place where you have everything you need in this moment. There's nothing that you need. There's nothing that needs to be taken away. Everything is just fine. So start by bringing awareness to the hara, letting awareness relax into that non-conceptual seat. On the next in-breath, invite awareness into the heart area. Letting yourself open to the tenderness, the brightness, the soothing quality. Notice if you have a sense of completeness, of wholeness. Nothing needs to be taken away or subtracted from you. Nothing needs to be added. Everything is just right as it is in this breath. Let yourself just orient to acceptance here. Accepting everything that's in your experience. Not trying to cultivate or reject anything. Letting everything be exactly as it is in this breath. On the next in-breath, invite awareness to the wisdom eye or dharma eye in the center of the forehead, resting in this important chakra, this important organ of perception. You might feel energy phenomenon in the wisdom eye, or perhaps not. Whatever is here for you is just fine. On the next in-breath, invite awareness to the crown chakra. If possible, breathing into the crown chakra, noticing if there's any energy activity, and accepting whatever is happening or not happening in the crown chakra. Returning awareness to the heart area. Make contact with a neutral person in your life. If you're a visual meditator, see if you can picture their face in your heart area. If you're a felt sense meditator, what's it feel like? What's their energy like when you're around this person? What distinguishes them from someone else on an energetic basis? So sense that field, that energy of that person, ideally in your heart area. We're really orienting to acceptance, simply accepting this person exactly as they present, exactly as they are. If it's helpful to use the support phrase, you can either use the traditional phrase, may they be heirs to their karma, or the alternative phrase, accept the truth of this moment. The key word there being acceptance. So we'll sit with this neutral person, accepting. If you find this person, the energy wanes a bit, it feels a little flat or hard to get traction, then switch to another neutral person in your life, accepting them exactly as they are. We'll sit in silence together, and then I'll ring the bell.